I'm Felicia,
And I'm Ian.
and we are the Paranormal Lovers. Yes.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another week, another episode. Episode 44.
Episode 44.
44. I don't know. 4 is my favorite number. I like saying that. 44.
What did you love about this week, baby?
Oh my goodness. That was dramatic.
The Sprite.
Sorry. Shit. What happened this week?
Went
Halloween. Samhain.
It was great.
It was fun. You thought it was great. I don't enjoy painting my face. It was gross. I hated it, but we had fun.
I loved painting my face, except for the part where it was like so cold because you were using spray paint.
Yeah.
Oh.
And not like spray paint, y'all. It was like body paint, but it was cold.
Body paint does not work good in an aerosol can. Shoot.
No. And it was like cold anyways. Like it was chilly that night, like real chilly.
Yep.
So that was fun.
It was fun. That was what I was going to say.
Is that what you loved about this week?
Thing that I love this week.
I was actually thinking like the fact that my promotion's actually going through this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yay me.
Nice. Congratulations.
Get to lead a shift at a pizza place that is a national company that I'm not sure if I can say their name. So
Same.
Pick one.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to mention my place of work neither.
Yeah. Well, you signed an NDA.
Yeah.
So
I technically can't by law.
Yeah. Even though, well, you know, when I worked there, I started in 2013 and podcasts weren't really a thing back then. I'd have to go back and look at the paperwork and see if it's actually includes podcasts or if it's just news.
Yeah, I don't know.
Media.
I have no clue.
Interesting. Well, you already
the
told
social
me.
Medias.
Yeah,
I know it does include social media.
Social media.
Right.
Good Lord, have mercy. I love it when Kat says it on Box of Oddities, and then Indigenous Tales also says it, and then somebody else said it this week too. I listened to, and I'm like, it's social media. All right. It's an Ian episode this week, so what do you got for us, Bill?
I'm really excited about this one because I made everybody wait a month for the second part of it.
So if you've been waiting since, last time, Ian's last episode about Scientology, if you haven't heard Ian's last episode about Scientology,
I would listen to it.
Yeah, I was going to say I would advise you go back and listen to it because you're going to be like...
You'll be lost on this one.
Yeah, episode 40?
Yeah, 40.
I think was your last one.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go back and listen to that one if you haven't.
Yeah.
And then come back and listen to this one.
Yeah. So this one, I promised today that we'll do the second part of Scientology. So it's Scientology Part 2. But this is the story of Shelly Miscavige. Now, to know Shelly Miscavige, well, first off, she, her full name was Michelle Diane Barnett Miscavige. She was born on January 18th, 1961 in Dallas, Texas. Her mother and father were longtime Scientologists.
Oh, Lord, poor child.
Both, like, her whole family was in Scientology.
So she was raised in the cult.
She was raised in Scientologist.
Scientology.
What would you call it?
The Church of Scientology.
Yeah, the cult.
The cult.
Her mom, her name was Mary Florence Fike Barnett. She had a cool nickname. It was Flo.
Flo.
Like the progressive lady.
I feel bad, though, if she's like somebody's aunt, because Aunt Flo is, what a lot of women call their periods. So,
right.
Aunt Flo's coming for a visit.
Shelly, being born into a family of Scientologists, became a member herself at a very young age. From age 12, Shelly was a member of the Commodore's Messenger Organization, or formerly known as the CMO. It was an international Sea Org group that was, and if you don't know what Sea Org is, listen to the last episode.
Yeah, because I was
I tell all
pissed.
about it. But that group was responsible for servicing the Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard.
I'm sorry, what do you mean servicing?
Servicing, like
Because that
I
could
don't
have a
know,
lot of.
doing his laundry,
Okay, okay.
like getting
I
him
was like,
drinks.
what do you mean servicing,
I mean, I don't know. Like,
sir?
I have no clue. I didn't like research that in depth on it, you know.
Okay.
But I mean, it's what it sounds like. It's servicing,
Sounds terrible.
right? It's horrible. But this group resided aboard the MV Apollo in the 1970s. So they were on a ship
Okay.
in the 70s, and Shelly was just a young woman at the time. She was described as being quiet and petite. She was younger than most of the other messengers. Uh, Jim Dincalci, Dincalci, who was one of her shipmates at the time, said that she was a sweet, innocent thing thrown into chaos.
Mm.
Yeah, feel bad for her, but
I'm
at the
gonna reserve judgment until the end.
right. At the age of 21 in December 1982, she married a fellow CMO member, David Miscavige. If you don't know who David Miscavige is, I told you kind of briefly about him in the last one. He was like the leader, or became the leader later on down the road. Uh, he later became the leader of Church of Scientology. Her thoughts at the time were that David was the reincarnation of Simon Bolivar, and that she was the reincarnation of his mistress, Manuela Sands. She also joined her husband's group so that she could be the direct assistant to her husband. He was the chairman of the board of Scientology Religious Technology Center at the time.
It's just a lot of words.
Right.
A lot of words. And also, why would you want to be his long dead mistress?
I don't know.
Like that's not
I
his
guess
wife.
some people would think it's romantic, maybe. I don't know.
Mm,
I had a hard time placing together a lot of these events, but this is around the time Shelley's mother was involved in a bombshell of a Scientology scandal. Her mom was a higher level Scientologist who had resigned from Scientology. I'm assuming to like have kids, or because of her family. Well, when she did, she took confidential upper level materials with her. This is around the same time that David Miscavige became the leader of the Church of Scientology.
mm,
After resigning, although not sure how, because of the like they signed that billion-year pledge or whatever.
yeah.
So like I don't know how they let her resign.
Yeah, it's weird.
Um, but after resigning, Flo became involved with a rival group. According to an affidavit of Vicky Asnaran, Flo was a member of David Mayo's Advanced Abilities Center. Now, the David Mayo Advanced Abilities Center was an independent Scientology organization. So they did Scientology too, but it was like separate from the church. But they split off because they didn't believe that David Miscavige was the real leader.
Oh Lord.
The actual Church of Scientology considered it heterodox and an enemy of the church. Supposedly, Flo was getting audited and help from this group in exchange for the OT level materials, or the secret upper level auditing procedures that she stole.
This sounds like some Branch Davidian Waco shit.
Yeah,
Like I don't know how much you know about that cult and the way that like it got split up and everybody was like infighting.
right.
It's like you're all psycho. Just
You're all crazy.
you're
Just
all crazy. Just
be
live
all crazy.
together.
You're right. At this time, Shelly and Flo's relationship spiraled. After having surgery for an aneurysm, she was left debilitated. It is said that Flo became depressed. One of Flo's other children, Camille, said that Flo was convinced that there was no hope of getting any better. On
Easy
sorry, frog in my
there.
throat. On September 8th, 1985, Flo was found dead in her home in
Oh
Los
shit.
Angeles, California. She was 52.
Well, damn, she was a year
Like,
younger than my mom was when she passed.
yeah, she was young.
That's sad.
The death had been ruled a suicide from a gunshot wound to the head.
I'm always suspicious when they rule it a suicide.
Just wait. This gets even better. Get this. The weapon used to commit suicide was a Ruger 1022 rifle. So like a long rifle.
And let me guess, she had a teeny tiny little bullet hole.
No.
No.
No. The body also had 3 gunshot wounds to the chest. So this case is crazy. She also had superficial wounds to her wrists as if they'd been like slit, like, but they were old. It was days before like finding her body.
It makes me wonder if she was actually restrained.
Right.
See, now we getting into my shit because I love me some true crime, even though I can't do the research on it.
This is why I was so excited when I was doing the research for this. I was like,
Yeah.
wait till you even hear all
And
this.
like in this last month, I have heard at least 2 different cases where the manner of death was ruled a suicide, and yet the evidence doesn't match up with that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. This case is like nutso.
Like one with the kid Alex Dawson that supposedly shot himself in the head, and then his hands ended up in his pockets.
Right.
And then
like you're
one
gonna like
chick,
shoot yourself in the head and then just like put your hands in your pockets.
yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah,
okay, I'm complete.
yeah. If y'all don't know who Alex Dawson is, I think Sinisterhood or Crime Junkie did an episode. I think the Dead podcast did an episode on it as well. You guys need to go listen to it because it's bullshit. Sign the petition, do all that stuff because
Yeah.
But and then there was another one where a chick like supposedly shot herself in the head, but somehow she flipped herself over
Mm-hmm.
because like the blood was going the wrong direction.
The wrong way.
And I'm like, y'all, it pisses me off because allegedly my uncle committed suicide, and there's been talk that he didn't
Right.
because some of the shit doesn't add up from the crime scene and what the police are saying. So I'm like,
Right.
anytime somebody says they died of a gunshot wound to the head, I'm like, unless you saw it.
Oh, this case right here sounds straight up like a murder. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the evidence in it sounds like a complete murder.
Like, you tell me
But-
that somebody that left the Church of Scientology is found dead of
And
an
she had
apparent
it-
suicide after she stole like classified
Materials.
material and documentation
Yeah.
from this place. I ain't gonna believe you.
And I think this was, when was this? 85. So this
Oh,
was
yeah.
this was like way before it was easy to find a lot of information on the internet and stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
and there wasn't DNA testing wasn't what it is today. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think it was born until like the 90s. So
So
suspicious.
the gunshots to her chest also, they wouldn't have been enough to kill her. One was a surface wound, like it missed, and then one went through a breast implant. So like it went through a breast implant and then came out. And then one went through her left lung and fractured a rib. So it wasn't like, you know, toward the heart, I
Yeah, I was gonna
guess.
say it wasn't like a kill shot to the heart though.
No. It sounds so much like a homicide that an investigation was launched to find out why Flo had died. The investigation was conducted by the County of Los Angeles Forensic Science Center. Detective Bob Havercroft was the main investigator in Flo's death. He determined that Flo's death was a suicide. There were 2 suicide notes found in the room Flo died. That sounds suspicious too. Like 2
That
notes.
yeah, it does sound suspicious. I'm still stuck on like the gunshot wounds because I'm like, did she shoot herself in the head and then try and shoot herself 3 times in the chest? Did she shoot herself 3 times in the chest? And you're saying she tried to shoot herself in the head? Like,
Right.
it doesn't make any sense. Like that, none of that makes sense. And then yeah, 2 suicide notes, unless they were like in an envelope sealed, like with 2 different people's names written on it.
In a social security deposit box.
Like, what?
Right. And so Havencroft did a reconstruction with the body, and the angle that the gun was pointed was consistent to her committing suicide. So, like, basically, he angled it up, and she shot 3 times in the chest, didn't die, and so then she did the headshot.
But I need to know like where she shot herself in the head.
Right.
Like, because if it was on the side of the head, there's no way you can do that with a rifle.
Right.
Unless you're like a giant that has like 5 foot long arms.
Well, a lot of people say that this is like totally bogus, anyways, because well, I'll get into a little bit of
If
that.
it was like a mouth shot or under the chin, I could see that because there's a way you can do that with a rifle. But
I was gonna put a PSA in this one too. If you know people thinking about suicide, tell them to get help.
yeah,
Call your friends.
You can text, I believe it's like 988 or 998. I think it's
Yeah.
988. It's like the National Suicide Prevention text line. You can text them or call them.
Yeah,
So
any
if
time
you
of
or
day.
anybody you know is thinking about suicide, talk to somebody.
Yeah. So the coroner couldn't determine whether it was a homicide or suicide when she got to the coroner. So they relied on the conclusion of the detective that
Mm-mm.
so that they pretty much was like, oh, the detective said it was suicide, so
No, 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 no. Mm-mm.
right.
I've been listening to true crime podcasts too long to know that is not the way you do it, sir.
Nope.
No, 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 no.
The case was very suspicious. Granted, the weapon used was 37 inches in length. So, like,
Yeah,
my
that's
arm
real
isn't
tall.
even
That's real
that
long.
long.
No.
So, and it'd been fired 4 times on herself. Like, she did it 4 times. There's no way.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, because if you think about a rifle or a shotgun, the kickback on that is rough.
Yep.
So you mean to tell me she did it once and then it probably knocked her on her ass, especially if she was debilitated
Yeah.
or disabled from that surgery, and then she got up and did it 3 more times?
3 more times.
What?
It's crazy impossible.
No.
Like,
No.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either at all.
But and also, like, did Havencroft even know that she left the Church of Scientology at that time? Like,
Yeah, I
did the
feel like there
detective
was
know that?
I feel like there was no investigation done because even if you go into a case and you go, okay, this looks like an apparent suicide, you still need to investigate.
Yeah.
You need to talk to their friends, you need to talk to their family, you need to figure out why, like,
Which they talked to her family,
what was going on in their life at that time.
but they were all like, "Oh, she's depressed." Like, right?
Y'all see his face,
Yeah.
right? Bombastic side eye.
Yeah.
I don't.
And David Miscavige, he like well, back to the other point. Like, did they know she left the Church of Scientology? Did they know she took all those materials
Right
with her and threatened to sue the church as well? I don't know. It's so crazy.
Which even if they did, it's very well possible that they did know that, but that somebody at the church was like, "We're going to grease your pocket,
yeah,
and make you ignore these facts."
They were super rich.
Yeah.
David Miscavige strongly denied having any part in his in-laws' death, and he said that this was a tragedy in his family's life. Although a testimony by Vicky Oznaran, the same one that I took a quote from before, said that in response to the death, David had replied, "That bitch got what she deserved."
See?
So, Like, I mean,
Yeah, I feel like the cops just dropped the fucking ball or just
yeah,
didn't investigate that at all.
they got paid, I bet.
They either got paid or they knew somebody within the organization.
Right. The church viewed Flo as an enemy because she denounced Scientology. They had titles used for people denouncing Scientology or leaving the church. They called them suppressive people or squirrels.
Squiggas?
Squiggas.
Squiggas, not my squiggas.
It was basically them just pretty much calling them heretics. Uh, David and supposedly Shelly also once said that they were disgusted to be related to Flo.
Mm.
Yeah. Shelly appeared unaffected by Flo's death. She once said that she was doing fine and that Flo's death was an excellent opportunity to find out where the OT material that Flo had come from
I'm sorry.
to use it as leverage against David Mayo Clinic or the David Mayo's place.
Your mother is dead.
Yeah.
And you're worried about finding the information she stole.
See, now.
And they don't think that's suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
crazy suspicious to me.
My mom died from cancer.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was still traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like, on one hand, yeah, it was still traumatizing. But if my mother had been murdered or allegedly died of suicide,
you'd want to know why.
I'd burn the fucking world down to find out what happened.
Sure.
Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I'd be giving that daughter a side eye.
Right. The LAPD declared the death a suicide, but this was before DNA evidence. Also, Scientology was known to make big donations to the LAPD.
I was also going to say it's the LAPD too.
Yeah.
Like, they have had such a long history of corruption and poor police work. And I cannot even begin.
Right.
I could go on a tangent about that one. Oh my God.
Do an LAPD episode. It'd be horrible.
It's terrible. Like, I think they've gotten a little bit better, but it's in the 80s.
Yeah, in the 80s.
Nah.
If David was involved in the murder of his mother-in-law, we will never know. The church has had a lot of other cases involving high-ranking members, fraud, abuse, abductions, and death, and they all have been protected with Scientology money. Lots of money. Mm-hmm. So, back to Shelly. Okay. Shelly was involved. Shelly was closely involved in liaison to one of Scientology's highest profile members, Tom Cruise.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. When Tom Cruise began this 3-year involvement with Penelope Cruz, Miscavige supervised Penelope's auditing and helped her through Scientology's Purification Rundown program.
I didn't know Penelope was in Scientology.
Yeah. Just through Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay.
Like, she was introduced into it through Tom Cruise.
But did she like stay in it, or did she like
I have no clue
when her and Tom? Because if Penelope Cruz is a Scientologist, the world has problems.
Right. After the two split, Miscavige was reporting to have led a Scientology program to find a new girlfriend for Tom.
Oh my God.
It is said that around 100 young Scientologist actresses were interviewed. They were interviewed but not told what they were interviewing for. One actress, Nazanin Boniadi, was interviewed and introduced to Tom. They started dating and after a few months ended their relationship. This was in 2005. The search resumed. More actresses were interviewed for what they had thought was a part in the upcoming Mission Impossible role. They eventually came across actress Katie Holmes. Mm-hmm. She was introduced to Cruise and eventually married him. Tom Cruise's attorney denies that Scientology had anything to do with Tom's girlfriends. Miscavige subsequently oversaw a project to use Scientology members and contractors to renovate Tom Cruise's 9-bedroom mansion in Beverly Hills. So they redid his mansion for him.
All right, to be Tom Cruise, man.
Yeah. And this is all, Scientology people
Yeah.
and money. In 2006, Shelly returned from a trip abroad, the Free Winds, which is like their head ship. One of the Scientology ships. David, however, did not return until much later. After her husband arrived, she is said to have visually changed. In other words, she looked pissed. Um, Mike Ronder, Scientology's chief spokesperson at the time, recalls Shelly asking him if her husband was still wearing his wedding ring.
Oh, shit.
In June 2006, Shelly went missing.
Oh, shit.
Shelly made no more public appearances until her father passed away from natural causes. In 2007, Shelly was seen being escorted to her father's funeral. After that, Shelly was never seen again.
She did.
It's 2023 now, and Shelly is still missing, and no one has heard from her.
She did.
There's been at least 2 missing person reports filed with the LAPD concerning Shelly. One by Lawrence Wright, although he didn't say who submitted it. The other one by Shelly's friend, Leah Ramini, in 2013.
Oh, Leah Remini.
Yeah. Rimini, is it Rimini?
It's Leah Remini. She's
Okay.
an actress. She played Kings and Queens, I think, that show with the dude.
Cool.
Yeah, she's very vocal and outspoken against the Church of Scientology after
Yep.
she left.
Yeah. Rimini was an actress and Scientology member who was close with Shelly. She said that she thought it was weird that Shelly was absent at the 2006 wedding of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. The Church of Scientology had no comment on the wedding of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. The Church of Scientology had no comment on the whereabouts of Shelly at the time. In 2011, actor Lawrence Wright said that Scientology spokesperson Tommy Davis told him that he knew where Shelly was, but would not tell him where.
Because she did.
In July 2012, responding to press accounts of speculation on Miscavige's whereabouts, 2 UK newspapers were informed by lawyers who said they represented Shelly that Shelly is not missing and devotes her time to the work of the Church of Scientology.
No, she did. Just like her mama.
Some former members of Sea Org believe that Shelly is being held against her will. They say that she is at the Church of Spiritual Technology in their corporate facility near the mountain town of Running Springs in San Bernardino, California. Ramini has been pushing for a full investigation. She says that there's also a conflict of interest between the LAPD and the Hollywood division of the LAPD and the Church of Scientology. Money.
Mm-hmm.
The official position of the church is that she is not missing, she was fine, and that she was merely a private person. Furthermore, she is not a public figure anymore, and we ask that her privacy be respected. That was their position on it.
Then let us see that she's alive.
Yeah, show us Shelly.
Show us Shelly. Justice. Hashtag justice for Shelly, okay?
Right.
We need to know that Shelly's okay, because I'm pretty sure her husband killed her mother.
Yep.
And that's not good.
Mark Headley, a former Scientologist who has since spoke critically of the church, told Vanity Fair in 2014 that Shelly was once a top aide for the religious group, but was stripped of her duties and carefully watched by a handler during her father's service. Once another member followed Shelly to the bathroom to ask her for help. Headley said that in response, Shelly told the woman that, "Listen to me. I fucked up. and I'm not going to be able to help you.
Oh no.
The church, however, called Headley's statements false and claimed that he was a fully discredited source. Headley's legal claims against the church were dismissed by a federal judge in 2010. When Ramini brought up the question of where Shelly was in the 2006 wedding of Tom Cruise, no one had an answer. She found it quite odd since David Miscavige had been the best man.
Mm-hmm. Where's your wife,
Right.
Miscavige?
Right. She said she turned to one of the top church officials, Tommy Davis, and asked him, "Does anyone know where Shelly is?" And in reply, Tommy Davis told her, "I don't think you have the fucking rank, quite honestly,
Oh,
to ask where Shelly is."
I'm sorry. I don't need a fucking rank to find out. Ask you where my friend is.
Right.
The fuck you mean you don't have the fucking? I
Some of the statements from these guys, I'm like, wow, that's
yeah.
like really upfront.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a little much.
yep.
It's a little much. Yeah, I this is giving me some bad vibes, man. I don't like it.
I'm telling you, they like killed her or something.
Or they're holding her hostage and won't let her go and she's
Yeah.
like a prisoner.
Yeah.
Like I don't know which one would be worse, honestly, just
I
being
don't either.
dead or being subjected to God only knows what they could possibly be doing to her.
Yeah. It was shocking for Ramini to hear and spark something in her. Uh, After that, I would have wanted to find out where she was too.
Mhm.
Davis denies saying that through his attorneys, who told People magazine the claim is an invention, adding that him and his wife Jessica, a Scientology staffer who was also at the wedding, that Ramini's behavior was rude and became the topic of dismayed discussion among other guests.
I
And
feel
I
like that
don't
was
consider it rude.
I feel like that was around the time that she left the church and
Yeah,
like started being very vocal and outspoken about what was going on in the church.
yeah, probably so. Ramini said, as a consequence to her questions at the wedding, the church reprimanded her and sent her to a facility in Clearwater, Florida, where Ramini underwent a process called Sec Check, Truth Rundown, and Reprogramming. She said it involved intensive and exhaustive forms of interrogation that could last up to 12 hours a day. Ramini left the church in 2013. Weeks later, she filed a missing persons report with the LAPD. The bleh. The police told Ramini that they went to Shelly's location, made contact with her and her attorneys, and found her to be alive and safe, and the case was closed. They told Ramini that Shelly did not want to talk. Ramini also claims that the LAP did not want to give her any other information when she followed up on the investigation. She asked them, "Did you see her with your own eyes? Is she alive and safe?" Their response was, we cannot give you that information, ma'am."
You can't even tell me if you saw her with your own two eyeballs?
Right.
Like that's why not?
Seems like a pretty decent question.
Like it's fine if you don't want to give me like any details, but did you see her?
Right.
Is she alive? It's a yes or no question. It's not that hard.
Right. Ramini says she still doesn't have an answer. The church released a statement on Ramini's claims saying Ramini was a bitter ex Scientologist and wrote, "Miss Ramini also continues her bizarre efforts to harass the church's leader and his wife, whom Ramini had been obsessed with and has stalked for years." The church told People magazine that Ramini is engaging in a publicity stunt motivated by hate and money. I'm like, what money?
Leah Remini's like a well paid actress, though. I don't think she wants your money. She just wants
No.
to expose you for the bullshit you are.
Yep. In my opinion, she just wants to know what happened to her friend.
I mean, that's really it.
Again, friends, check on your friends.
Yeah.
Flash forward to 2023 at the Golden Globes. host Jared Carmichael took a shot at the Church of Scientology when he was introducing speakers Jay Ellis and Glenn Powell, who starred in the movie Top Gun alongside Tom Cruise. Carmichael walked on stage with 3 Golden Globes in his hands and said, "Backstage, I found these 3 Golden Globes that Tom returned," referring to when the actor returned his Golden Globes in 2021 in protest to the lack of diversity within the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which is the voting body for the awards. Carmichael continues, "I'm just a host briefly, or whatever, but I have a pitch. Maybe we take these 3 things and exchange them for the safe return of Shelly Miscavige."
Oh.
The joke came after Ramini raised the question of Shelley's whereabouts in light of the investigation of Cora Palka, the captain of the Hollywood division of the LAPD, where she had filed her missing person report. Corey Palka had no involvement with Shelley's report. It was like the LAPD, not the Hollywood division, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But to this day, Ramini and others wonder what happened to Shelly Miscavige. She is still missing.
It's no good.
So,
what happened to Shelly?
Where's Shelly?
Justice for Shelly. We need to know what happened to Shelly.
I saw it on a YouTube program, so it sparked my attention.
It makes me wonder, like, after her mom died in such a suspicious way.
I know.
And I don't give a fuck what the LAPD says about it, because her mom died in what, 1985?
Mm-hmm.
It was only 7 years before Rodney King happened.
Yeah.
So fight me.
Yeah.
On not trusting the LAPD.
No, I don't trust them neither. Especially when there's so much money involved. These people had like millions back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, they had to find Tom Cruise a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these are rich, powerful people.
Very powerful.
And it's just suspicious that, like, this mom died and they're like, oh, it's a suicide. And then the wife goes missing and they're like, oh, she's fine.
Yeah.
And also, why can't you fucking tell Leah Remini if you saw her or not?
For sure.
Like, it's a yes or no question.
She wrote a book about it.
Oh yeah, she's wrote books about it. She's done interviews. Like, I very well remember, I think she did like an interview with Robin Roberts for 2020.
Yeah.
Or somebody like that.
I bet it was a 2020 on
She did
Shelly.
do a 2020 on, well, it was on Scientology.
Was it?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was on the Church of Scientology, because it was after she left and she just blew the fucking lid off of it and was like, I'm gonna tell you this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that.
Yep.
And then with like all the shit that's happened since then with all the different people like Danny Masterson and stuff, like, we know you full of shit.
They cover for all of them.
We know you covering up stuff. And you need to tell us where the hell Shelly's at, because we're gonna believe you murdered her unless you do. I mean,
if you listen to my last episode, they did like broke into the IRS.
Yeah.
And like stole all kinds of crazy documents from there.
And like didn't get in trouble.
And they didn't get in trouble for that either.
For breaking into a federal government agency.
What did I say on it? It was like $1,000 fine or something.
Yeah, it was like a $10,000 fine and like 5 years in jail or something like that. Like, it was a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, it was a drop in the hat.
Yeah, like it was like $10,000.
They like, probably paid it the same day.
Yeah, they were like, "Would you like me to write you a check?"
Right.
Like, or you want me to go to the bank and get cash? Which one would you like? What?
Furthermore, here's a little statement that declares that we don't have to pay taxes anymore.
Yeah, right. We're gonna start a church of the paranormal lovers so we can get some tax benefits. Shit. I'm frustrated by this story.
Yeah.
I don't trust cults.
Yeah.
And you can say what you want about it. Scientology is a damn cult.
It is. There's a lot of shady shit happen in it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure Shelly's not the only person that's went missing.
No.
Like,
when I was doing my research, they said, where was it in my notes? It was like abuse and like kidnappings and all kinds of stuff. and they never got in trouble for any of
Yeah,
it.
they don't get in trouble for any of it. And I mean, one person might get called out,
Yeah.
but they don't, the group as a whole, which I'm trying to think of the word. It's there, but I can't think of it. Like they perpetuate this shit
Mm-hmm.
and they make it like they're interviewing girls for a girlfriend for Tom Cruise.
Yep.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
They think they're getting a movie.
Yep.
Like, what? Yeah, it's given some like Jehovah Witness LDS vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole like infighting between the groups.
It's a crazy case, man.
It is a crazy case and a sad case.
Yeah.
And I hope they can find out what happened to Shelly someday.
Maybe they will.
I
Maybe
hope
they'll
we can.
find her.
I hope she's still alive. If she's not, I hope she didn't suffer
Right.
and it was quick and done with. And again, like we said earlier, if you or anyone you know is having thoughts of suicide, talk to somebody.
And if she is dead, David Miscavige.
Yeah. Like, don't come for me because I'll be like, they're trying to kill me because I'm black. But, like, yeah, he's. Well, I only pull out the race card when it's valid. Okay. Right. When it actually, like, makes sense. But.
Yeah, don't come out of Scientology.
Yeah, don't, because I don't want anything to do with you. I just run a podcast, and I'm
That's
sure
right.
I'm not the first one to talk shit about you, so fuck off. But yeah, if you or anyone you know is having thoughts of suicide, call somebody, talk to somebody, text 988. You don't even have to call somebody, you can text somebody, and I know that a lot of millennials in this day and age do not like picking up a phone call to call people.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Do that. And was that it, Bill?
I think that's it.
All right. Well,
I hope you guys enjoyed my second part.
Yeah, it's a little more true crime than paranormal, but
it is.
Honestly, I like dipping my toe in that every once in a while. So
it was my first time trying it.
So. It's pretty good. I enjoyed
it.
I'm suspicious. It's all just
it's so freaking suspicious.
I want to be like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. But they don't fucking know how to not be suspicious.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, I'm excited for next week's episode. It is November is Native American Indigenous First People.
Yeah.
First Nations People Heritage Month. So I'm going to be doing
Heritage Month, guys.
I'm going to be doing some indigenous lores.
Nice.
Some indigenous legends. And next week is one that a lot of people know about. And I've not been wanting to do it because I tend to steer away from the bigger ones. But
sure,
I'm excited to do it. And it's going to spook you.
You're getting me excited now.
It's going to be fun. You're going to be like, oh, shit.
Nice.
All right, guys. If you would like, you can head on over to Instagram and follow us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. You can search for us, The Paranormal Lovers, on YouTube. You can send us an email at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. And if you would like, head on over and check out our merch at theparanormallovers.com.
We'll have some more pretty soon.
Yeah, we will, for sure.
Got some new stuff in the works.
It's going to be real interesting trying to do all this and working an extra hour every day, but
yeah,
we'll get her done.
We're trying our best.
We're doing our best. We're doing our best. And you know what?
Like, comment, subscribe.
We hit 1,000 downloads this week.
Yeah, we did.
Which, like, it took us
I should have said that
months,
as the one I love.
Yeah, it was
surprising.
Pretty damn impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really proud of us. I didn't think we'd get to this point.
Thank you, guys.
This year. So, thank you guys very much. Our Instagram feed's going up, so that's cool too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us this week, and we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.